Well, hello everyone! Welcome to a very special video. Previously, I have completed every Ace Attorney game. They're all Let's Plays on my YouTube channel, and now, here at the end of our journey, there is one last thing to do. I'm with Tier Maker here, and I am going to be ranking each and every Ace Attorney character. There's a lot of them. I think there's 238 by my count. Yeah, that's a lot, so I should probably hurry up. So, let's talk about the actual tiers I have made. Now, we would be here forever if I actually ranked every character against each other, so I'm largely going to be sticking them in the categories sequentially. The exception, however, is for the top tier, the Aces. That is the one tier where I will rank the characters against each other. But who can go in the Aces? Well, that would be not only just my favorite characters ever, but characters who I think are truly indispensable to the franchise. Characters that I can't imagine Ace Attorney without. And then, down the line, we have Top Notch. Not quite good enough to get into the lofty Aces category, but I'm more fond of them than pretty good. Maybe they're just missing that certain spice, but all the same, the top notches are top notch. And well, pretty good, I would hope pretty good would be self-explanatory. Not quite enough to get into top notch, above neutral feelings. And yes, neutral feelings is what it means. Neutral feelings. Characters who I don't feel negatively about, but also characters that, I don't know, they're just kind of there. That's how I feel about them. And below them, we have Who? Yes, the characters who go into the Who slot are ones I've just forgotten about. Like, it's been 6 years, there's so many characters, there are some that just did not leave any impression, and so that's where they will wind up. And below that, we have Unpleasant. Now, the unpleasant characters are ones that, well, I would really rather just go away. I don't like them. They make me uncomfortable. They wore out my patience. I just didn't like it when they were around. And finally, at the bottom of the tiers, Go Away Forever. This one is for Salmonella and friends. I hope this makes sense to you. So, let's begin where it all began. Phoenix Wright. Obviously, he's an ace attorney, even. Phoenix is a great protagonist and an even better side character. It's funny, but Phoenix is at his absolute best when he is not being the main character. It was great to be in his head. It made him very relatable, and you could empathize with his struggles. But all the same, when he was elsewhere, and you were looking at him through the eyes of other characters, that's when he was at his best, especially in Apollo Justice. Hobo Phoenix, this subversive mastermind who was angling for a big score against a criminal the whole time. Top notch. What else can be said about him? He's Phoenix Wright. You gotta love him. Then, we have Mia Fey. An interesting character. Where would I put her? You know, I think Mia goes in pretty good, and here's why. Mia was Phoenix's mentor, but she died. And as cool as a character she is, at the end of the day, her purpose was specifically to further the character development of two other characters, namely Phoenix and Maya. And, I guess Godot later, but yeah, I don't like the trope of women being fridged for other characters' development. You know, it's a bit exhausting how common it is, and I just wish there was a bit more to Mia. But there was more to Mia, now wasn't there? We even played as her in the third game briefly. And she got her spirit channeled. She was speaking from beyond the grave. And for that, I liked it. And I think, while I do have some grievances with how the character was handled, I do like her well enough to put her above neutral feelings. And then there's the archetypical weird little girl, Maya Faye, Mia's sister. Top notch. Top notch. Maya's good. A bit grating at times, but at other times she is downright hilarious. I still have very fond memories of that time she called the fire department to see if they could spray her with their hose to replicate waterfall training. That was some good stuff. Maya's a good friend. It was great seeing her in different games. Yeah, I mean, she's great, but while I do think that she's indispensable to the Ace Attorney franchise, I don't quite like her enough to put her in the Aces category. Oh boy. It's ya boy, Miles Edgeworth. He's going in Aces. Now, do I like him more than Phoenix? Yes. Yes, I do. Look, Phoenix is awesome. But he has kind of like that Superman problem where he's kind of too much of an everyman, but Miles has that kind of, that little bit of spice, that edge that Phoenix is missing. The intrigue of Miles's background and how he was raised by Manfred von Karma to be a cutthroat prosecutor, and the story arc that Miles embarked on across the series to change his outlook, to deepen his bond with Gregory Edgeworth's legacy and Eddie Fender, and pursue the truth for its own merit. And plus, Miles was protagonist of his 2 games, so yeah, I loved every second that Miles was on screen, and every time he was not on screen, I was asking, where is Miles? Ah, Gumshoe. Detective Dick Gumshoe. He's a teddy bear in human form. Ooh. You know what? I really like him. He goes in, well, yeah, I think he goes in top notch. So, at the end of the day, Gumshoe got a bit exhausted. He was run out of all potential, and his one joke pretty much became, he's poor, which was very funny, all the ways they spun it, but he's just the big oaf of a man. He bumbles. He's definitely no Columbo, but he has a heart of gold, and that makes him so likable. Oh my god, it's the Judge. The Judge. Yeah, he's in the Aces, and I probably like him less than Phoenix, so what can be said about the Judge? He is such a man of mystery, and all the same, we get to know him so very well. Yeah, it's quite stunning. We never learn his name. We only get glimpses, just tiny glimpses into his personal life. But he has such an incredibly strong personality. The way he bounces off both Phoenix and any prosecutor, and, well, he just has such a strong force of personality. He has great screen presence. He's simultaneously threatening, like a stern father disciplining you, and also kind and disarming, like Santa Claus. Yeah, he has that kind of Santa Claus energy. You love him. He's just an all-rounder, just a good character all around. Yeah, for sure. Now, Larry Butts. How am I feeling about Larry? I definitely like him. His womanizing is a bit gross, but it's meant to be gross. Everyone he interacts with thinks he's a complete loser, and therefore, that comes the humor. I do like how he has a bit of character. I like how he's a shared backstory with Phoenix and Miles. I do like how he developed his artistic skills and his artwork was essential throughout the entire series. But I don't think I ever clamored for him to return, so I'm gonna put him in pretty good. Winston Payne, a sniveling man. He is a punching bag, not to be confused with a mere punching bag from later in the series. Winston is the best tutorial ever. He has no backbone, just no spine. He folds over like a house of cards. And all the same, it's satisfying to knock him over. Great character, top notch. Frank saw it. Yeah, that's probably neutral feelings. It was great to see him return in a later game, but he's kinda just generic McMurder Man, so I did like the gag with him throwing a toupee at Phoenix, and Miles, I think. Yeah, but overall, he's just kinda there. Red White of Blue Corp. This character got you sitting bolt upright and paying attention. He has a disarming personality, a slimy grin, weird vocabulary. You think you clock him, and then he clocks Phoenix in the face. It feels like he broke a rule. Well, he broke a law, that's assault, but all the same, it made you realize, okay, yeah, this guy's dangerous. What's going on? And of course, he is the man who killed Mia Fey, so that's an extra layer of hatred. I think he's a pretty strong villain overall, top notch. April May. It was satisfying to take her down and make her lies crumble around her. The reveal of her true personality was pretty good. Yeah, she's pretty good. Then there's the bellboy. I'm not sure we ever got his name, but he became like the proprietor of the Gatewater Inn, and the running joke in the series how he exploited the murder of Mia Fey to reach fame and fortune as the hotel next door to a murder site was hilarious. You got a Gatewater theme park, I think. All the same, neutral feelings. Marvin Grossberg. Mia's own mentor, and an indispensable aid in solving her murder as well as a few other cases. It was fun to see him in the defense stand right next to Mia when we were playing as her. But I gotta dock him a few points for being gross. He did not need to tell me his story about hemorrhoids, so neutral feelings. If it wasn't for that, pretty good. Will Powers. Kinda has that Gumshoe energy. Big teddy bear, but somehow, even though he's a much more successful man, he comes across as more pathetic than Gumshoe. I am fond of him because he introduced the world to the Steel Samurai. I did like that he was a recurring character in multiple games. But his personality, he's kind of just so easy to walk over. He slumps over. He's meek. I like the dichotomy of his massive, muscly frame and his meek personality, but I think he just narrowly escapes neutral feelings. And Wendy Oldbag. Oh my god, Wendy Oldbag. This character is a tornado. Every time she passes through, you wake up to find your house blown apart and you're 1,000 miles away. She is a force of nature, truly, and she recurs in so many games. Honestly, even though she was tiring and made me exhausted, I like her a lot. She is, for now, at the very bottom of the aces. Salmonella, go away forever. That's where you belong. Know your place, trash. It's one thing to have dated elite speak, but he's also a pervert, and he's sweaty, and he wiggles his tongue around. I don't like him. No. Then we have Penny Nichols. If Ace Attorney characters were food, she would be white bread. Flavorless, nigh on textureless, exists solely to make other flavors better. Neutral feelings. She is the most neutral of neutral characters. She is so boring. And there's not much more to say than that. Cody Hackins. He put on a tough front, but at the end of the day, he was just a scared little kid. So terrified that he saw his hero, the Steel Samurai, get killed. Or was it the other way around? The Steel Samurai killed someone? Yeah, he was a bit grating. I don't really feel anything too positive for him, but I don't dislike him enough to put him in unpleasant, so neutral it is. D. Vasquez. Right. Very subdued character, but that made the malice she began to show all the more biting. It was shocking. Much like Red Wright, she made you sit up straight when she tried to sick Yakuza goons on Phoenix and Maya and nearly killed them. Only saved the day from Gumshoe's interference. So she's pretty good. Good character. Lot of heart. What can be said about Lotta Hart? I intensely dislike her. She is a journalist who goes after cryptids and anything that she thinks could make a scoop. She has no journalistic integrity. She will bend the truth. She just wants a good story that gets eyes on her. In fact, she even, on multiple occasions, lies to make a better story that would absolutely send an innocent person to prison, or worse, the guillotine. Screw her. Go away forever. I hate you. Insufferable. Now here's a strong one. Manfred von Karma, absolutely going somewhere in the aces. Absolutely one of the most powerful characters in terms of presence. The way he made the judge bow and bend to his whim, how he would issue commands and rapid barks, the way he would try and solve the case in like 5 seconds, it's just... And the way he groomed Miles was so revolting. It just... He only appeared in like 2 games and was important in one of them, but all the same, his mark was left on the entire franchise. He's a specter hating on everything. So do I like him more than Wendy? Yes. Do I like him more than the judge? Ooh, that's tough, but... Yeah, I think that's where he'll sit for now, between Phoenix and the judge. Then there's, Oh, what's your name? You're... Yogi Yanni? I think Yogi Yanni. Yeah, he was a bailiff who was there that fateful day when Gregory, Miles, and, Yogi were trapped in an elevator. He was there when Manfred got shot in that DL6 incident. And Von Karma exploited Yogi's grief to try and get Yogi to frame Miles for murder. Indispensable to Manfred's plot, kind of part and parcel with it, but as a character... Yeah, he's pretty good. Well, no, you know what? I think he has enough gravitas to earn him a top notch. I liked his sad subplot with Polly, his ex, and the way his demeanor changed when he gave up the game. Powerful character all around. And then there's Polly, not Polly the ex, but Polly the Bird. Let's go with bottom of the aces. Cross-examining the witness's parrot. Peak Ace Attorney. One of the first and most beloved peaks in the series. The absurdity, the bizarreness, and how it led to true, startling revelations about the case. So memorable. Now here's an interesting one. Emma Skye, a detective forensic specialist, kind of a replacement for Gumshoe later on in the series. She appeared in so many games, and yet I really just feel nothing for her. I don't vibe with her personality. She's just kind of there for me. She was necessary to the plot, of course, but honestly, she goes with neutral feelings. I'm just not too fond of Emma. Sucks, but that's how it is, I guess. Then there's her elder sister, Lana Skye. She was the defendant in a murder case involving, Bruce Goodman, and she was framed and set up by her former partner, Damon Gant. But I don't remember a single goddamn thing about her. She, I think, goes in the first Who section. I just don't feel anything about her, and I forget so many details about her, so yeah, I guess. Then there's Angel Starr. She's a detective. Her thing is that she gives out bento boxes to people. I don't know. I think I'm just gonna go with Who. I don't remember a thing about her, honestly. She's just kind of there. Then there's, Marshall. Jake Marshall. I liked his cowboy aesthetic, even though I think it was revealed he was a complete poser and was just nabbing the aesthetic for the sake of it. I did like the gag where he seemed to be drinking from a flask the entire time you met him, but after he resigned, he bit off the top of the flask, the cap, and actually started drinking for real, revealing that every time you'd seen him drink, he was faking it. That was pretty good, so I think that's the one thing that saves him from from Who. He goes in neutral feelings now. And then there's Damon Gant, the start of a long history of powerful men who wield a lot of authority and sway in the political world, turning out to be a murderous scumbag. Very similar to Manfred von Karma, he had a huge commanding stage presence. The way he would unnervingly sit there in silence just staring at you, and then suddenly erupting in boisterous laughter or clapping. He was an unnerving villain. He was. And the way he was taken down, the way you were treading on thin ice as you tried to broach this chief prosecutor, yeah, very good villain. I think he deserves a top-notch spot. And there's Mike Meekins. I remember him being shrill and quite animated, maybe a bit self-depreciating. But I don't remember or like him enough for top-notch. I enjoyed him, so pretty good sounds good to me. Aha! Franziska von Karma, fellow apprentice of Manfred, in fact, daughter of Manfred von Karma, and friend to Miles Edgeworth. I like her, I do. However, in her debut game, she kind of went on this long story arc that culminated in her, similar to Miles, kind of rejecting Manfred's ways and embarking on a journey of self-discovery to embolden her, expand her horizons and become a kinder, more compassionate prosecutor. However, in all her future appearances, that character development wasn't quite felt, I don't think. At least not enough. It felt like she kind of regressed and stayed the exact same. So for that... screw it, I like her too much. She's top-notch. It's top-notch. Now here's an interesting one. Pearl Faye. Little sister to Maya. No, cousin. Cousin to Maya. So the most interesting that Pearl ever got was as a plot device. She was an heir to the main family of the Faye clan, and I think that is why Morgan Faye attempted to exploit her and groom her to her own ends. But honestly, I'm just gonna name Pearl as pretty good. She served her purpose. The naive, bright-eyed little kid who got exploited by bad people. And then for the rest of the series afterwards, she was just kinda there. It's like she served a strong story purpose for a villain to bounce off of, but after that she... I don't know. I'm not too fond of her, but not enough to put her at neutral. Okay. This is the murderer from Ace Attorney 2's first case. The one with Maggie Bird. What was his name? Wellington? I think his name was Wellington. Yeah, like Beef Wellington. Who? Yeah, that's that. Maggie Bird. A police officer or detective? Yeah, I never felt anything for her. She's a recurring character, and I know Gumshoe was crushing on her, but overall, throughout the entire series, Maggie never did a single thing for me. I just did not endear myself to her, and never quite disliked her, but neutral. Turner Gray? He's a murder victim who I guess had a few speaking roles. I believe he tried to hire Maya to channel a dead body, and he got killed in turn. Let's just go with who? Then there's Morgan Faye, a sinister, insidious villain all around. It was nice to see villainy coming from the Faye clan. Now, as I said, the way she exploited Pearl was truly dastardly, and it made her very dislikable. By the end of the day, she's just kind of a one-off villain. Memorable, but only, I think, because she had such relevance to main major characters. I can't remember her personality at all, so pretty good. Sure. Eenie Meenie, I believe she was one of the killers? A conspirator? She had a twin sister, Minnie, I think, who died in a car accident? And there was a swap, yeah. Yeah, the news reported that the Ron sister died, and the false identity was the crux of the case. But I'm gonna go with who, because I don't remember her. Dr. Hottie. Now, does this guy go in unpleasant or go away forever? Okay, he was a bit of a perv, and he made hand signs like he was trying to squeeze someone. And he was itching himself like he was itchy, and he had missing teeth, and... Yeah, it's pretty unpleasant. More unpleasant than unpleasant. Go away forever. Who is this? Star? Maximilian Star? No. Max Galactica? Well, he was a circus performer at the Very Big Circus. He was our defendant. I don't remember him. Who? Woodman. Alright, this is a mixed case. I greatly enjoyed voicing Woodman and his little puppet. But his plot revolved around him crushing on Regina Berry, who, I should remind you, is a minor, so go away forever. Regina Berry. This character I remember quite well. She's the heir to the Berry Big Circus. She's a ditz and airhead. She just a bubbly little girl. I did not like voicing her. I did not like her screen presence, so I'm gonna go with unpleasant. I think that sounds fair. Mo the Clown. Everybody loves a sad clown. And honestly, I did too. I really liked voicing him, so I think he narrowly escapes neutral feelings and goes to pretty good. I didn't mind him. I liked him a bit. Then there's Acro, the true murderer. He was a trapeze artist who was bound to a wheelchair after an accident, and he used tripwires or something to knock someone dead with a bust. And he had a pet monkey. I could not tell you a single thing about his personality, but I remember what he did, so neutral feelings. He's pretty alright, I guess. Oh, Shelley the Killer. A truly threatening man. He's polite and cordial, but he kills like he breathes. It's so casual with him. And the way that his employer had him kidnap Maya and hold Phoenix blackmailed to try and get him off on a not guilty verdict was truly threatening. And then when Shelley returned later on in the investigations games, it was a head-turner moment. Shelley, top-notch. Wonderful character. And then there's Matt on Guard. Shelley's first employer. And the Jammin' Ninja, I believe. He was the actor who played the Jammin' Ninja. Now, Matt... I think Matt was the very first instance of a villain transforming, which would become a mainstay in later entries. Yes, when you first met him, he was a sweet, kind man with the hair covering him half his face, but then his true identity was revealed. He flipped back his hair. He became genuinely threatening and cruel. A very memorable villain, top-notch. Not quite great enough to get into the aces, but nearly. He nearly got in there, I think. Adrian Andrews, aka Zero Suit Zamis. Yeah, neutral feelings. She's alright. She recurs in different games, but she kinda has the Penny Nichols problem where she's just too plain and nice. Alright, next up, a real heavy hitter. Godot, aka Diego Armando. He is the coolest loser. The lamest badass. He is such a paradox. In life, he was Mia Fey's boyfriend. They had a pretty serious relationship, I seem to recall. And, well, he seemed to have come back from the dead when Phoenix took up Mia's mantle and became a prosecutor to try and test Phoenix. He introduced himself saying he had never lost a case as a prosecutor. That's because the guy had never won any either. It was his very first case. And he never won once. And in fact, by the time this story ended, he had killed someone and was the game's final killer. The prosecution, the entire time. I enjoyed him greatly. So the question is, do I like him more than Polly? Yes. Do I like him more than Wendy Oldbag? Oh. You know what? No, I don't think I do. Beats the parrot. And that's it. Dahlia Hawthorne. So I'll be honest, I barely remember this character. I remember she was a she-devil who charmed the courts, but her true identity was someone truly wicked and vile and self-serving, who would use her feminine wiles to charm men and kill them and do other horrible things. She was Phoenix's boyfriend at one point in his college days, but... Look, Dahlia, and I guess her twin sister Iris, were the specter that haunted all of Trials and Tribulations. But all the same, I don't quite remember her. She didn't leave too much of an impact on me, which sounds weird to say, given how important she was, so... pretty good, maybe. Then there's Ron Delight, hilarious defendant. He was very, very memorable for being like the first defendant who eagerly wanted to be found guilty. He so badly wanted to be the masked vigilante, the masked demask, a thief, a gentleman thief at that. And we had to fight against him in proving him not guilty. So that was very fun. Honestly, he's such a strong character, and I love his stupid cinnamon roll hair. Yeah, he's top-notch. I'm fond of him. Oh, it's Detective Luke Atmey. Zvari. Yeah, him being a detective, helping you on the case at first, I think, got you endeared to him pretty fast, but it turned out he was the killer all along. I remember he had such immeasurable egotism that it by all rights should have made him obnoxious and hateable, but you couldn't help but like him. And I think I remember I really enjoyed voicing him, so top-notch too. Yeah, this was a strong case. Then there's Desiree Delight, Ron's fiancée, or wife, I think. Yeah, she was kind of like the straight man to Ron's antics. But I don't quite remember her too much. Yeah, I don't remember a single thing about her. I think she had a biker aesthetic? Maybe. Or was it air pilot? Not quite a who, but neutral feelings. Jean Armstrong. The proprietor of a maid cafe? What was his name? Well, I believe he was our defendant in that case, and I did enjoy his personality quite a bit. I might have to put him in who, because I could not tell you a single thing about this man other than that he wore pink, had huge muscles, and was flamboyant. Sad, but I feel like I should like that man more than I do. Who the hell is this guy's name? I remember he was into the maids and kind of pervy in that way. Hello? Background music? Hello? You know, I'm gonna put this guy in unpleasant. How about that? I feel like, yeah, I didn't quite enjoy his plot. I know he fed birds at a park, but... cripes, where the hell did the music go? Hold on. And we're back. Okay, so... yeah, the crotchety old man, kind of a drunkard, I think. Or at least he had the nose of one. I didn't like him. Moving on. Furio Tiger. aka Zin Eop. Now, the only reason this character is memorable is because he was kind of an imposter Phoenix. Characters were mistaking him for Phoenix. He even wore a crappy cardboard attorney's badge. Absolutely hilarious, but in terms of personality, no impact. I remember him solely and strictly as an imposter Phoenix and all the antics that came with it. So, pretty good, but not anything special. Who? Who the hell are these two? I don't know them. I don't even remember their faces. Who are they? I would think I would remember Scouter Lady. Dragon Ball ass Scouter? What's her power level? And who's the head bandage? Who is that? Those are the most who I've ever seen. What the hell? Wow, I completely forget those two. What the hell? What? Moving on, there's the prisoner dude. This is one of Dahlia's ex-boyfriends, I think. I want to say this case with him was the one with the flashback where you played as Mia, and it had a tragic ending, I think. I think this case ended with this man taking his own life, chewing out his tongue, I think. Maybe? I'm not sure, but I gotta give him a who. I don't remember his name or his personality. Just vague memories and impressions. Oh, this judge. You're Canadian. Go away forever. There are many judges. All of them are similar, except you. You're the outlier. Go away forever. You're Canadian. Nothing against Canadians. I'm just joking. Iris Hawthorne. Yeah, I remember her appearance at the monastery was shocking. I couldn't figure out if she was actually some relative or if it was actually Dahlia, back from the dead, who had dyed her hair. But of course, it kept me guessing up to the end, and it turned out Iris was her own person. But I can't remember anything else, unfortunately. You know, I think she was the most important character in my favorite case in Trials and Tribulations, so she barely escapes neutral feelings and lands in pretty good. Sister Bikini. Yeah, she's fun. She's fun. I wouldn't call her top-notch, but yeah, she's a solid pretty good too. I liked how helpful and kind and nice she was. Even if characters are quick to insult her, if I believe. I think someone called her a Yeti at some point. That was uncalled for. Bikini was nice. Elise Dunim, aka Misty Faye, Maya and Mia's long-lost mother. Disgraced from the courts after the DL6 incident. Yeah, powerful, important character. I really enjoyed how her plot and her appearance in Ace Attorney 3 tied back to the best bits of Ace Attorney 1. I liked the closure it gave Maya, and I even liked that her works inspired Larry to take up her pseudonym. Yeah, she was a very strong character. I think a bit dislikable, honestly, but top-notch. Top-notch, she's pretty good. Oh, now we're getting into some real standouts back-to-back. Apollo Justice. Does he go in the aces? No doubt. He is my boy. I have two boys, Miles and Apollo. Both of them are my boys. I love this boy. I think as a protagonist, he excelled beyond Phoenix. As he was able to, well, Apollo just had so much going on. He was introduced as the apprentice to Christoph Gavin, that's right, Christoph Gavin, and eventually poached by Phoenix and joined the Wright Anything Agency. And from there, gosh, the way so many narratives and stories were written around Apollo, boosting him up, making him take this journey of self-discovery and improvement. And where Apollo ended up by the end of Spirit of Justice, running his own firm, taking up the mantle of his adopted father. Yeah, Apollo is a strong character, so, jumping ahead here, do I like him more than Phoenix Wright? Do I like him more than Phoenix? I do. I really, really am fond of Apollo. I like him more in just about every regard. And I really like Phoenix. Well, then there's Trucy Wright, daughter of Zach Gramery, adopted daughter of Phoenix. I love her stage magician motif. Do not like her magic panties. No, I do not like her magic panties. So I'll be honest, I liked her the most in Ace Attorney 4, the game she was introduced in. That's also where she was most plot relevant, as the troop Gramery was dealt with. Extensively, I might add. I don't know, I feel like she was written best in that game too. She's absolutely one of my favorite weird little girls. But do I like her more than Polly? Yeah. Do I like her more than Godot? Yes. Do I like her more than Oldbag? Yes. I'm not sure if I like her more than the Judge. Ooh, that's tough. Yeah, I think I like the Judge more than her, and that's only because the deciding factor is the running magic panties gag. Fair. Here we go. Christoph Gavin. Well, I'll be blunt. I don't remember him at all. He goes in Who. I know he was Apollo's mentor, I know he was the ultimate killer, and I know that Phoenix worked for the entire game to take him down. But he made no impact whatsoever on me. Like water off a duck's back, he just left my memory the moment I finished Ace Attorney 4. He just did nothing for me. And his twin brother, Clavier Gavin. As a prosecutor, he was kind of just too nice. He's alright. Do I put him in pretty good or neutral? Honestly, yeah, I think Clavier goes in neutral. I well and truly just do not feel a single thing for him. I don't. Which is it's a shame. He's kind of the character I would want to like more than I do, but I just can't will it, you know? And there's Zach Gramery, aka Shady Smith. I remember this character being extraordinarily tragic. I forget the fine details, but I really truly felt how he was forced to abandon Trucy for her own sake. Honestly, he shares a lot of similarities with Dirk in that regard. I believe he was framed for a murder, and I think he ultimately, yes, he was killed. The way he was keeping in touch with Phoenix but ultimately killed, and Phoenix was framed for his murder. Yeah, this character who at first seemed to be a nobody victim was revealed over the course of the game to be an incredibly important and touching and heartbreaking character. I remember being extremely impressed by how well this man was written, so I put him in top notch, for sure. Olga Orley. I like that she was a transformer. Yeah, this was part of when Ace Attorney really started leaning into antagonist transforming. She took off her coat, dropped the meek act, and became like a boisterous... Was it gangster or a pirate? I forget what she was, but I think she wore a headband. I could not tell you much about her personality. So probably who? Next up, we got Guy Eldoon. Now this was a cute moment to finally meet the proprietor of the ramen shop that Maya loves to frequent. Well, in the Western release she loves hamburgers, but no, in the original Japanese she loves ramen. And this is the guy, the ramen guy. I love how... look, he has one of the best designs in this series. The way his hair looks like ramen noodles, and yet he's also a former doctor, so when he takes on that persona once again, he just, like, he does a quick costume change that immediately sells him as being a surgeon. And I loved how hostile to human life his noodles were. Incredible salt content. Yeah, this was a strong character. Just great personality, strong design, a bit of a surprising angle to him. He's really good, top notch. This is Plum Kitaki of the Kitaki family. Who? I'm sorry, I don't remember her. I think she had a bit of a fierce streak. She was a bit scary and intimidating, but I don't remember a single goddamn thing about her. And there's, Mr. Kitaki. I think the joke is that he kind of looked like a big scary Yakuza man, but it turns out those sunken eyes were actually his big bushy eyebrows, and he had tiny little dot eyes that made him look cute. And I think that was his one shtick. I think he had like no dialogue before appearing and having that joke play out, so... judging him on his own merits, he's not quite a who, because there's barely anything to him. I don't know. Neutral feelings, I suppose. Then there's... what the hell is his name? He was the defendant, I think. Kind of a delinquent personality. Puffed up his chest. Acting bigger of a man than he was, but in the end he was just a scared little teen. I honestly couldn't tell you much about him, so I'll go with who. This man, I forget his name. I just remember he was obsessed with panties. He was a pervert, but I will admit, the way his perviness was portrayed was actually probably as funny as a pervert could be. He was reverent. He treated panties like holy sacred objects. And he engaged in theatrics, holding his hand dramatically to the air like he was in some Shakespearean play. So that was funny, but all the same, he's unpleasant. Let's leave it at that. As for you... I don't know who that is. I don't. I think that's the... Junior Kitaki's... girlfriend? Was she the real killer in that case? I think she was. Oh. Yeah, I don't remember her. No impact left on me. Now we have Lemire, aka Thalassa Gramarye. Apollo's mother, Trucy's mother, and wife to Zach Gramarye, aka Shady Smith. What a character. More than met the eye indeed. Initially, she was portrayed as just a songstress who was collaborating with the Gaviners band. But then, by the end of the game, it's revealed that, at the last hour, she all along was Apollo's mother. She was right there speaking with him the whole time, and neither of them knew, really. If it wasn't for the fact that she's a blood relative of a major character, I would not give a single rat's ass about this lady. She was just a singer, she had a cool cloak. That's really all she has going for her personality-wise, so I'm forced to give her above neutral feelings, so pretty good is where it's at. Again, she, much like Mia, is a female character who exists for development of other characters, pretty much. Here we have Dave Strider. Okay, that's not his name, that's just what I call him, because look at that face. That is Dave Strider, I tell you. I forget, what was he faking being blind, or was it revealed that he was blind? He was a musician, I think, collabing with Lemire, or maybe they were part of the same band, I don't know. I can't tell you much about his personality. I just can't, so maybe it's a Who. Wait. Why is the Who category the longest and largest category now? Is my memory that bad? Oh shit! Romain Lettuce! Top notch. This man has no personality, no character, he's just a murder victim, but I love the name pun. I love it. Top notch. It's my tier list, I can do what I want. Valiant Gramarye. A plot deeply intertwined with so many characters. And I believe he was the ultimate big bad villain of Ace Attorney 4. I believe he killed his own mentor, Magnifi Gramarye, and framed Zach Gramarye for it, thereby ruining Zach and Thalassa's marriage. I remember hating this man. A true self-serving scumbag, I think. As far as villains go, I love me a true hateable scumbag. So I'm gonna name him top notch. I think he was a very strongly written character. Yeah. Alright, Sharkman. He was a musician for the Gaviners. Was he the killer? Oh, he must have been. I think. I do not remember a single goddamn thing about him, so who? It goes. Oh, yeah. You're, Oh, what's your name? Your father was Drew? What's your name? You were the daughter of the artist. But honestly, I'm gonna have to put you in Who, too, because not only do I forget your face, but I don't know your name. I don't remember what role you served in the plot. You're kind of just there, for me, at least. Spark Brushel. I did not enjoy looking at this man. I did not. And I didn't like his personality. It was uncomfortable to play with him, so go away forever. Yeah. And then there's Drew, father of a blue-haired girl right here. I think his name is Drew anyway. Well, it should be. He's an artist. Who? Yeah, I gotta say, these character personalities just left no impact on me. Man, Apollo Justice has so many stinker characters for me, but all the same, I love that game to bits. There are so many good factors in it. Huh. Well, it looks like we're moving on to the Great Ace Attorney, the Ace Attorney Investigations with Miles Edgeworth. Yeah, right, so, Kay Faraday. She was a self-styled thief, believing herself the heir to the Yatagarasu. But she never actually stole anything. She was nice. She did a cool PDA which could replicate crime scenes in hologram style to help investigations. She was a good counterbalance to Miles. Gumshoe was Miles's buddy, but not quite in a way that could weigh him out, you know? No, Gumshoe was mostly a stooge to Miles. Kay, however, had an indomitable personality that continued to shine through and really rubbed off on Miles, I think. So I'm fond of Kay. I think she was a good little weird little girl. So I think I like her more than Maya, which means she must be top-notch. Shilon Lane, an investigator from Interpol. Yeah, he was fun. He was fun. I liked his, how he was from, like, not China, and kept making up stupid little words of wisdom for his ancestor. I liked how he was kind of a foil to Miles. Kind of like a dark mirror, almost. Just like Miles, who, when Miles was at his worst, just truly tempered by the will of Manfred von Karma, he was chasing results, not the truth, and that existed a bit in Shilon Lane. And it was fun to see Miles, who had gone down this path, meet this character who was walking that same path. But overall, as a character, he wasn't too interesting. Mostly I appreciated him for how he bounced off of Miles, but I did like how his plot wrapped up in a neat little bow. So he's pretty good. Not the best of the best, but I enjoyed him. Yeah, that's fair to say. Callisto Yu, one of the Yatagarasu of the olden days. A surprising villain. As it turns out, we met her first. Well, we met Callisto first in a flashback back in the days when Miles was tutoring under Manfred von Karma. I believe she was pointed out to be a villain, but she escaped custody and ran off. And then later, we uncovered the fact that she was disguising herself the entire time as Sheena, Shilon Lane's assistant. That was a truly shocking development, threw me for a loop. I liked her. She was a great villain. Though I feel like her overall personality was a bit mild for Ace Attorney terms. She didn't quite chew the scenery as much as a great villain could. So yeah, she's probably pretty good. Oh, Tyrell Bad. I have a huge soft spot for this guy. I loved voicing him with my stupid gravelly voice like I gargled with gravel in the morning. As one of the members of the Yatagarasu, his connection with Kay was quite charming. And, yeah, the surprise twist that this detective, this gritty, hard-boiled detective, was actually a criminal, or at least a former criminal, and how, when the truth was revealed, he owned up to it and turned himself in to face just punishment, really spoke to me. I loved Tyrell Bad. He was a great, fun character. I liked him so much. I'll probably put him in the aces, not just because, not because I think he's indispensable to the franchise, but solely because I liked him just that much. Do I like him more than Polly? Yes. Do I like him more than Godot? That's tough. That's real tough. Oh, man. I don't think I can will myself to do it. He's at the bottom of the aces. And then, Jock Sportsman. That was maybe the first Ace Attorney pun name that truly slew me. Yes, Jock Sportsman's and his best buddy, Jim Buddy. aka Buddy Faith. Oh my god. I liked his athletic quirk. I liked how he was a fellow prosecutor who was so brazen as to return to the crime scene to stick his nose into the business. I liked how... I think he even started accusing Miles, too. He made for an extraordinarily spicy first case in the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Wonderful character. I like his animations. Honestly, he's just drawn all around. I am so tempted to put him in top notch. I am so tempted. But I don't think I can muster it. Pretty good. I think that's where he belongs. Zinc LeBlanc. I remember him being an art dealer and nothing else. I think I once said that he looked like a racial caricature of a race that does not exist in real life. I felt nothing for him. Maybe I wasn't a bit off-put by him. Yeah, I think unpleasant works well enough. You are the sleepy air attendant who had her titties out. Yeah, unpleasant. I don't like her sleepy... There's a future character who has a strong sleepy motif, but the way she was pulling it off, it did nothing for me. And look, I'm a prude. Nudity makes me uncomfortable, and I didn't like looking at her cleavage all that much, so unpleasant. You're the other air attendant, the one who was not the killer. I believe you were genuinely trying to do your job, and you thought for sure Miles had done the killing, and you took a lot of convincing, but you came around and changed your opinion of him. I can't remember her name, I can't remember what else she did, but I like her, I guess, so neutral feelings. I think she was pretty alright. Fair enough. We have the two Amanos. I like the friction that this character introduced. If I remember right, Mr. Amano was Miles' sponsor, or something like that. Miles was depending on Amano's money, I think. And, I believe in the course of this case involving him, Miles had to ride the tightrope directly between trying to solve the case and not stepping on Mr. Amano's toes. I like that friction that was added, but as a character, in terms of personality and his dialogue, I can't remember anything. So I think it balances out to neutral feelings. And then there's Amano Jr. Oh, I forget him. Just who? I don't know. I don't know. This was, I want to say, Amano Jr.'s sweetheart? Maybe? There's something about a two-part necklace making a Pegasus between a horse and wings or something. And she had a connection to someone who was dead or gone, and it was kind of heartfelt, but I forget so much. Who? You are Mr. Faraday. Frankly, the only thing I remember about this guy is that I thought he looked like Jansen Fried from Lost Odyssey. Wonderful JRPG, by the way. He's Kay's father, and a former Yatagarasu, along with Tyrell Bad and Callisto Yu. I don't think he actually had any speaking roles. He existed solely in flashbacks, so... Who? Speaking of who the hell is that? Why is he invested? Huh? I have no idea who that is. Who is that? I am completely blanking on that man's name. Who is that? Huh. Okay, here is a fun one. Kirkus Alba, ambassador of... cripes, I forget the name of his nation, but he was the killer. So the idea of an ambassador at a international embassy performing a murder and skirting around laws of extraterritorial rights and how embassies count as the nationality of the corresponding nation. If you're on there, the laws of a nation apply there in an embassy, and the way that was handled. Look, it's easy to hate this guy because of how long he dragged out that final case, how he snatched victory from you so many countless times. But he was a fun villain. It was satisfying to take him down. I think it was strong. So top notch. And this was Kirkus Alba's counterpart. He was an ambassador in another nation. The two nations shared an embassy building. I forget his name. He was kind of just like an agreeable helper. I don't think my suspicion ever really fell upon him much. I can't remember much about him. So, who? Oh, Eddie Fender. What a guy. He was introduced, and so quickly he felt like an indispensable cast member. Yeah, I love this man. I fell in love. He was a cool uncle. He was like the cool uncle who shows up at parties and family get-togethers and is great with the children. That was his vibe. It turned out that he was Gregory Edgeworth's disciple, and how once he caught wind that Miles Edgeworth was up to shenanigans, he approached Miles to actually gauge in secret whether the rumors were true and that Miles was actually a scumbag, as he had been when he was tutoring under Von Karma, was so good. It was such wonderful characterization, and the way that Eddie Fender became a dependable ally and a crucial aid to the investigations. I just love this man. He's a really fun character. I like him a lot. So, do I like him more than Polly? Yes. Do I like him more than Tyrell Bad? Ooh. You know what? I think I do. And I like him more than Godot. And I like him more than Wendy. Now, do I like him more than Trucy? Oh, right. So, I loved Trucy's first game. And Eddie only had one game, but I adored him in it, so that's probably stronger. Now, do I like Eddie more than the Judge? Maybe. You know what? Maybe. I think that's a perfect spot. Right between Manfred and the Judge. I love you, Eddie. What was his original name? So Eddie Fender was the official translation, but I played the fan translation. What was his original name in the fan translation? Raymond Shields, I think. Yeah, Uncle Ray. Now, Eddie Fender is a way better name, I gotta say. And then there's Verity Gavel. She was a judge and served as Miles's foil in Investigations 2. I like how quite frequently you had to prove your case against her. She fulfilled the role of a judge, and she had this crazy extending gavel that she was whipping around. It was a pretty silly character. And in the final case, it was revealed she was actually a mother, and the relationship with her son proved vital to solving that case. So she was a character who had quite a bit of stage presence and depth. She's top-notch. I like Verity. I do. Oh my god. It's my boy Eustace Winner. Eustace? God's damn Winner. Okay, I already know he's going in the aces. So, Eustace... I am a sucker for a fop. And Eustace Winner is a foppish dandy. He is. He was so full of himself, he had such an ego, and it was easy to hate him, just disregard him. In fact, there were plenty of times where Verity and Miles just spoke over him and ignored him, even though Verity was trying to mentor Eustace. But a shocking amount of emotional depth was revealed. His relationship with his father, Excelsius the Best, or Excelsius Winner, suddenly Eustace became a tragic figure. This whole time he was just trying to live up to Daddy, earn his approval. And Miles and Eustace ended up having a very real heart-to-heart that steered Eustace to a new life path, and he was able to stand up to his father. Eustace only had one game, but he is one of the most complete and compelling characters in the franchise. And it only came about by surprising you after evolving from something seemingly very simple. I like him more than Polly. I like him more than Tyrell. Better than Godot. Better than Wendy. Better than Trucy. Better than the Judge. Way more than Eddie. Do I like him more than Manfred von Karma? Yes. Yes, I do. So, oh boy. Do I like Eustace Winner more than Phoenix Wright, the titular ace attorney? Ah, damn. That is the actual question. You know what? I already know the answer. I can't say that I do. But Eustace, nevertheless, is up there. Dijuan Juan, moving on, is the president of a foreign nation. Remember, it was turned out he had this imposing aura, but then he let himself go and revealed he was kind of a useless sap, a poser. But I gotta say, who? I do like that Ace Attorney Investigations 2 began with his attempted assassination, then a later case was about his real assassination. Yeah. Then there's Nicole Swift. I don't know her new official name. So Nicole is Lotta Hart's apprentice. And she falls into the same trap, namely chasing good headlines, ignoring the truth just out to make a buck. But I can't hate her as much as Lotta because she only made this mistake once. Thankfully, Nicole Swift is not a recurring character, and therefore I can give her one pass. She learned a lesson. Hopefully, unlike Lotta, she will learn that lesson. Retain it, even. Now we have Horace Knightley. I think he was the actual culprit, in the attempted assassination of Dijuan Juan, and he was a personal bodyguard to the man. Honestly, I'm gonna have to put him at who. I remember him mostly because it was like a intro tutorial to Miles's mind chess mechanic. No, that was in the first investigation, wasn't it? Well, Yeah, I guess he was just kind of there. I guess? Alright, well, I remember him well enough. I guess he goes in neutral feelings. Patricia Rowland. This is a character I feel very little for. Probably goes in neutral feelings. I liked her theme that her prison let all the prisoners have animal companions, and Patricia took that to extreme by wearing a coat made of living ferrets. Hilarious. But honestly, I remember getting pretty tired of her. I was happy to see her go. She's okay. Now we have J. Elbird. I remember him trying to escape his cell by digging a hole. I remember he had a little bear that was cute. He's okay. He's okay. Neutral feelings. Dogen. Now that guy was intimidating. A killer who enjoyed playing games. I don't think he exactly warded off any suspicion from himself. He accepted it wholeheartedly. And he had this killer dog, which was very threatening. Yeah, he's pretty good. Not like too memorable or exciting, but I enjoyed his role. He was interesting. He made the case interesting. My God, Simeon Saint, aka Simon Keys, whatever you want to call him. Saint was a showstopper, a real, true showstopper. He was introduced in this nondescript prison case and was so easy to cast him aside and dismiss him as someone simple, much like Eustace Winter. But it turns out he had deep ties to a case, well, one of the last cases seen by Gregory Edgeworth. Saint's father was found guilty of murder, and that steered Saint down a dark and twisted path that ended up with him becoming a cold-blooded killer. I loved his transformation. His look as a sad clown with a white face makeup and such a wicked look on his face. He looked like a RPG villain. He had one of the best music themes, and I loved his final defeat animation where he was just bullied by a bunch of animals. I seem to recall an elephant picking him up and slamming him on the ground a bunch. Just a wonderful villain. Honestly, he deserves a spot in the aces. I think he does. Better than Polly. Probably better than Bad and Godot. More than Old Bag. In between the Judge and Trucy, that feels just right for Simeon Saint. Oh my God, it's Gregory. Gregory Edgeworth, father of Miles, the lawyerliest lawyer. Appearance-wise, he has that Penny Nichols look going on where he's just so plain, but that's because, again, he is the lawyerliest lawyer. I love his diligence. I love his wit, his sharp mind. I became endeared to him in just the one case we had to play as him, and it sold so well Eddie Fender's motivations. Ace Attorney has a wonderful trick where you know a character is dead or dying, and you get to know them, and the game makes you miss them. Gregory, top notch. Oh, this guy, I think this guy was the defendant in Gregory's case. He was the food show host. I can't tell you much about him other than that he had a very theatrical voice. Who? This lady was the guy's co-host on that food show. I think they were romantically involved too. I can't tell you anything about her. I believe this is Delicia Scones. She was cute, and I liked how she made sweets. I couldn't tell you anything else about her. Neutral feelings. This man... Right, so... I think he was the actual killer in the case. He would not be memorable were it not for the fact that it was later revealed he was Simeon Saint's estranged father. I forget his name. I forget his motivations. I forget his personality. He exists just in my mind to bolster Simeon, so... Who? Who? Doctor? Right, these two. Yeah, with the skyscraper case, the one that Kay Faraday seemingly fell off of. Yeah, these two showed up. I think the old lady doctor was too quiet, so the younger one had to interpret for her. Boy, I don't know them. Just memory hold. Then we have Excelsius de Best. Wonderful villain. He was a large part of why I came to like Eustace Winter. Wait, did I call him Excelsius de Best again? Well, my point is, this guy I think was a head honcho in the judicial world, and he threw his weight around to try and squash Miles like a bug. And in fact, it worked. Miles gave up his badge and walked away. But a resolution was found, Miles came back and finished the job and proved Excelsius to be a killer. And it was all thanks to Eustace Winter growing a spine and standing up to his own father. So that's pretty good. Good villain. Now we have, Cowchild. This is Verity Gavel's son. He drank milk a lot, I think? Who? So, I'd like to remind you all that it's been years since I played these older games, but now we're starting to get into the more recent titles I have actually played recently. Case in point, we got Professor Goddamn Layton. Judging Layton as an Ace Attorney character against other Ace Attorney characters is a cruel ask, because Layton is the protagonist of his own entire other game series. I have come to know this character strictly and solely through the crossover game with Ace Attorney. But from what little I've met of him, he seemed incredibly endearing. I started liking him, right away. And as the game progressed, I started liking him a lot. He's great. He's truly a wonderful character. I like him a lot. He's very kind, very sharp, very diligent, and he's just a rational person. I like rational characters. So, yeah, I guess I should rate Layton as top-notch. I could never put him in the aces, because, well, he's not an Ace Attorney character, but I do like Herschel Layton quite a lot. And then there's his companion, his own Maya Fey, Luke Triton. So, as far as kid sidekicks go, Luke is not annoying. and that is a huge accomplishment for a child sidekick. He is intelligent, but being a child, he is given to fits of great emotion and irrationality. It falls to Herschel Layton to keep him in line. So there was great drama when it seemed that Herschel Layton had died in the game. And Luke kind of went on his own path and started accusing Maya of being a witch who had killed him. The drama there was great and completely understandable and so tragic. I like Luke. He's pretty good. I think we're over halfway through. That's nice. This video's lasting quite a bit longer than I thought it would. Probably need a little bit of a water break. So, be right back. And back. So, next up, we have the storyteller. He was certainly the mastermind behind the whole mystery of Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright. I forget his motivation. I think he was ill or something. Needed a cure, but, yeah, why the hell? Hey, there's something about a secret research facility and the whole fantastical medieval town was just a fake construction and, well, he had good stage presence, and he was Spella Cantabella's father, and... Who? Yeah, I forget this guy. I forget so much about him. Again, he had a great design, great stage presence, but... I really could not muster up a kind word about him, so... Who? Spella Cantabella. She was the heart of that crossover game. She was the connective tissue that brought Layton and Phoenix together. And it made them work together to get her name cleared and save her and unravel the whole mystery of the Labyrinthia village, I think it was called. Yeah, so personality-wise, Spella was just your regular kind, sweet girl. The things that were interesting about her was the situation she found herself in and the world around her. She was better as a plot device rather than a character. So, I remember her fondly, so I suppose pretty good. Sounds right. Man. Inquisitor Barnum. I think there is no other Ace Attorney character who has disappointed me more. Inquisitor Barnum was that game's equivalent to a prosecutor, and he was your rival in court. And he was God's damned good at his job. Best I can remember, Barnum was the most difficult opponent to topple. He was relentless, he was intelligent, he was vicious, unrelenting, and I think he made me feel like I was backed into a corner more than any other political court defendant or opponent. Ugh. Getting frazzled. But, and this is a big but, the story of the crossover game just pooped the bed. It did. Right at the end, Barnum had a heel turn and he was like, you know what? Screw it, I'm a good guy now. Let's get to the bottom of this mystery with Phoenix and Layton. So what did he do? He, quite uncharacteristically, just marched right up to his one superior, the head inquisitor, accused her of being a witch, and she was like, okay, where's your proof? And then Barnum, who up till now had been so ruthlessly intelligent and diligent and perfect, went like, I don't have any? And so the High Inquisitor threw Barnum into a jail cell, where he remained for the entire remainder of the game, and he contributed nothing to the finale. I wanted so desperately to love this man. I think very fondly of him, but the story did him a huge disservice. So, I'm gonna put him in top notch. I'm fond of him. He deserves so much better than he got. Also, I think at the end he was in regular modern clothes and he looked hot as hell, so that's a point in his favor. Inquisitor Darklaw, the aforementioned High Inquisitor. She is Espella's elder sister. And I recall that the plot between them got a bit touching. I feel like Darklaw was misguided or misled about some crucial detail, which led her to distancing herself from Espella, I think. And the sisterly bond that got reforged by the end of the game was pretty good. And I appreciated that Darklaw had a killer design. Her witch look was awesome. Talking about JRPG villains, yeah, that witch design was awesome. And taking her down, very satisfying. I have fond memories of her. I think she's strong all around, so top notch too. Now we have the judge. This judge is not Canadian. And let's be honest, every single judge in the game is the same judge, except the Canadian judge. So, putting them right next to the other one, they're the same damn characters. Ditto for this judge. He may look different, but same character. All judges are a monolith, unless they're Canadian or women, like Verity. Yeah. Now this man, I do not know the name of, but he's European Winston Payne. Look, he's the same character, so... Again, they're monoliths, so he goes in the same category, top notch. The Paynes are brilliant characters. Yeah, you. You were the murderer in the first case that Phoenix did before the crossover commenced, really. What's your name? Well, I will say that I remember you for one reason only. They did not have to animate you like that. That hip sway she was doing, she is like the hottest Ace Attorney character. And that's memorable, I suppose. But I guess neutral feelings. Hello? Where the hell did where does my music keep going? Be right back. Okay, that's better. So, this man was the ship's security guard. I think he was very eager at his job, but got a lot of details wrong. Who? What's her name? I don't care. This man. Right, we're getting into the jurors from the Mysterious Village. Well, no. Mysterious Village is a different Layton game. Labyrinthia. I seem to remember this man was some kind of astronomer. I think he was forgetful, maybe? I liked him. I look at this man's face and I remember liking him a lot. I like that animation where he was spinning around, like he was on sort of turntable. I'm fond, I guess, so pretty good. Look, as far as jurors go, he's a good juror, so, yeah. Goat Lady. Who? Kira! Right, so we all saw her being the killer coming a mile away. But, yeah, beyond being a killer, she was punished as a killer, right in front of everyone. We saw her get dropped into a pit of flames as punishment right before our eyes, and that was extremely impactful, even if we learned later that the pit of fire was just a deception, and people deemed witches and burned in the pits were actually saved. I guess she's all right. I think she sold flowers? I can't remember her personality, but she's saved from being who just because she had a very memorable departure from the story, I guess. Oh, right, that's right. Phoenix saw her in the crowd later. Yeah, that was a huge moment. That was good, too. Oh, what's your name? I almost want to call you Horace Knightley, but that's another dude. You were a head guard of the Labyrinthia Patrol? No, wait, that's right. He was a pretender. He was a wannabe guard. He had like fake armor and a fake sword. Oh, that was funny. He had a fun gimmick, but I can't remember anything else, so neutral feelings. Oh my god. Oh my god, everyone shut up. Make way for Emir Punchenbog. This guy? He ain't just some guy, he's that guy. He's him. This is absolutely one of, if not the funniest characters in the entire franchise. I adore this man. Half my memories of Professor Layton and versus Phoenix Wright are this man and his antics. The way he leapt in from the stand to just join the jurors and everyone went along with it, and the way that his name coincidentally sounded like a magic spell that a witch casts, and the way he later showed up having sold a precious artifact and he was adorned in gold and had a gold chalice he was sipping from and just got all hoity-toity. This guy, goddamn hilarious. One of my favorite characters ever. So, better than Polly? Yes. Better than Tyrell Bad? Yes. Better than Godot? Oh, probably. Do I like him more than Wendy? Yes. Do I like him more than Trucy? No. No, I feel like this, in my gut, is the perfect spot. Oh, this lady, she is the kindly baker who housed Phoenix and Maya when they got amnesia and got inducted into Labyrinthia. Yeah, she was sweet and kind, and I liked her quite a lot. And I liked how concerned she got when bad things happened to our protagonists. She's a lovely person, very likable, and that saves her from neutral feelings. Pretty good. I think this was the librarian? I don't remember a thing. Who? Birdley, the bard! Or was it Bardley? Well, he's a fop, so pretty good. Ditto for his bird. They're part and parcel. Ah, you! You are the butler to that one dude who died I forget the name of, but I quite like this case. This is the one where Layton got turned into a gold statue, apparently. And it was revealed in court that this butler was actually a woman. The murder victim, the master of this butler, had been protecting her by making her dress as a man to ward off suspicion of her being a witch, I believe, is the plot. I like this character. It was a very, very strong plot thread, and kind of like the last standalone plot before Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright steered into the main plot for the rest of the game. Pretty good. Pretty good character. Can't remember their name, unfortunately. You're the mail lady? You're running everywhere? You're fast? Who? You were the merchant? You were snobby and snooty? Who? Yeah, most of these characters serve to introduce puzzles for you to solve, but that's it. Oh my god. Right, so for the finale of Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright, there was an astounding 10 10 people on the jury. Previously, it was no more than like 4 or 5. The sheer absurdity of the moment was intensely memorable, and you had these 4 on it. The first was this strict, hard-ass guard. He was the biggest thorn in your side, the most staunchly against you. He had made up his mind. He was the very angry juror. I don't think he even got an official name, even. Neutral feelings, I guess. He's alright. And then you had this guard. This guard, for some goddamn reason, was nearly dead. He was hobbled, he was bandaged, he was shaking like a leaf in a hurricane. He was hilarious, and at the drop of the hat, he would collapse to the ground in the most hilarious animation. He was hilarious, and I couldn't stop laughing at him. For that reason, I love him dearly. Top-notch. Top-notch guard. And then you had the lady guard, whose thing was that she was kind of revealing in her clothes, and she had a bunch of simps at her side. You are telling me that Larry's theme music started playing right here? Really? Oh, that's good. I have this playlist on shuffle. There's 40 songs in it. It could have been anyone, but the moment I start talking about the hot lady with the simps, we get Larry's theme? Sometimes life just be like that. Anyway, neutral feelings? And finally, this last juror. It was this tiny pipsqueak shorty of a guard. Snot running down his nose. I think it might have been a kid in disguise, but I remember they had this absurdly long and foreign name, and they demanded respect. They were funny. Very funny character. Not quite as funny as the shaky guard, but pretty good all the same. Oh man. All we have left are Dual Destinies, Spirit of Justice, and the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We're getting up there. So, Athena Sykes. Boy, what a character. She joined the Wright Anything Agency. She joined the Wright Anything Agency. She was positioned as a main character right along Phoenix and Apollo. And I was stunned by her arrival. I did not see it coming at all. But I swiftly grew to like her. She's feisty, she's kind, she's very, very emotional, which fits because, well, she has the device, Widget, which lets her sense emotions in court and determine the truth by peering past the veil of the heart. And in fact, the very fact that she is so emotional and in tune with emotions is the perfect partner to her debut game's big bad villain at the end. Athena is a strong character, and I truly can't imagine Ace Attorney without her moving forward. She's wonderful. So I like her a lot. I can move her right up. Do I like her more than the judges? Yes, I do. Do I like her more than Eddie Fender? Yes, I do. Do I like her more than Manfred von Karma? Yes. Do I like her more than Eustace Winner? That's a tough one. I do. Do I like her more than Phoenix Wright? I think I do, by Jove. Wait, Jove is a different character. Athena... Yeah. I think Phoenix's biggest fault is that he has to be too much of an everyman. He's kind of shackled to this personality that was written for him back in 2001. And sure, he has his unique moments, but that's mostly when you're not playing him. Athena is just so vibrant in comparison to Phoenix. Now, do I like her more than Apollo? It is close. Very close. But I don't think I can say that I do. That's a nice enough spot. Oh man. Heavy hitter after heavy hitter. It's Simon Goddamn Blackquill. When this character was introduced, I laughed like non-stop for 5 minutes straight. He was such an unrepentant edgelord. But just like Eustace Winter, I realized there was far more to him than met the eye, and I came to not only respect him, but love him. He is such a strongly written character. He has such a unique personality among the prosecutors, even though he's the same flavor of shooting back quips and insults. He still feels extremely unique among all prosecutors, and his personal story of how he was framed for murder, and indeed, no, he took the blame for the murder to save Athena, to spare her, because he thought she had committed murder. Simon is just such an intensely lovable character, once you get to know him. So where do I rank the Skunk Man? High, very high. Do I like him more than Manfred? Yes. Oh, this is a close comparison. Do I like him more? Do I like him more than Eustace Winter? I don't think I do. I like Eustace more. But Simon is up there. Next up, Bobby Fulbright, detective. Or rather, he's the spy. The agent, an infiltrator from another nation who killed the real Bobby Fulbright years ago, took his face, took his name, took his place, took his job, pretended to be Bobby Fulbright for years. And in the depths of his heart, behind all these charades of intense emotions displayed by quote-unquote Bobby, the real spy beneath is an emotionless husk who can't feel anything no matter how badly he wants to. And in the end, when we unmasked him, there was nothing left underneath. He is the most chilling and frightening character in all of Ace Attorney. One of the most memorable villains, to be sure. He is stellar. So where do I rank him? High, I think. Do I like him more than the judges? No, first, do I like him more than Simeon Saint? Yes, I do. Do I like him more than the judges? No. I don't think I can say that. Quote-unquote Bobby had an endearing personality and was horrifying to see that prove to be a fraud from the start, but the judge is the judge, man. I can't hate the judge. Next up, another Payne family member. Same category, goes in top notch. Juniper Woods. Surprising character. I thought for sure she'd be a one-off, but no, she returned multiple times. She's one of Athena's few friends, and she's an aspiring judge herself, attending Themis Academy. She's the center of multiple cases. She's a likable character. She's strongly written, and there's a lot of cases written around her. It's hard to hate her. She's not annoying, she's memorable, she's kind, you feel sympathetic for her, and again, so many cases are written around her, so top notch. Excellent character. Ted Tonate, the bomb squad specialist. Neutral? He's alright. He's a bomber. He blew up the courtroom. That was really cool because it gave us punished justice, but... I do like how he testified and helped find the real killer in the final case, though. That was neat. He was brought back. He was made relevant again. That was pretty neat, I will say. Jinxie Tenma. She's one of Athena's friends, along with Juniper. I like the case she was in. I like the setting of the case she was in, but I felt nothing for her. Then you had Mr. Tenma, Jinxie's father. Another in the long line of fathers making self-sacrifices for their children. Yeah, he's alright. He was our defendant. He's fine. He's fine, I guess. Yeah, not much more to say about him. Phineas Filch, the groundskeeper, I believe. He was a habitual kleptomaniac. He stole stuff from our investigators as we spoke to him, which was very funny. It was very funny to see him wearing our accessories, like Apollo's bracelet and even Widget, I think. It was really fun. He was a fun character. I liked voicing him. Not quite top-notch material, but he's pretty good. And look, it's another foppish dandy. Love these characters. Florent LaBelle, I think his name was. Yeah, loved voicing him. Loved that he had a Joker moment. He was a satisfying villain to take down at last. Pretty good all around. And I do like how his hair products came back in future games even. Very memorable. Hugh O'Connor. One of the fellow students along with Juniper. Wanted to win her heart. I feel nothing. That character did nothing for me. Robin Newman, however, another one of Juniper's friends, along with Hugh. I did like the plot, how they were secretly a lady in disguise. And they were very boisterous and intense about their pottery. Kind of another character who's just kind of there for me. I don't dislike them, but I do remember them a lot, so neutral feelings. Oh. Professor Aristotle Means, the antagonist of that case. So, first off, 11 out of 10 design. He looks like a statue, a Greek statue, and when he transforms, quite frankly, it's horrifying. He looks like a Centurion helmet. Some of the most unnerving and uncanny animations in Ace Attorney history, which is saying a lot when you have folks like Spark Brushel running around, but he was a good character. I liked how his ends justify the means approach was reflective of the dark age of the law, the theme that pervaded Dual Destinies. So, strong character. Top notch, I would say. Okay, Box Lady. Scuttlebutt, Miriam Scuttlebutt. So, she's another journalist who's meddling for all the wrong reasons, just like Lotta Hart and Nicole Swift. So I hate her by association. Unpleasant. Plus, the fact that she was wearing a box full-time gave me little to work with in terms of voice acting her, so... yeah, I was glad to leave her behind in the end. Unpleasant. And now we're getting to the finales of Dual Destinies. We got Solomon Starbuck. He was our defendant. And you know, I think there was a serious point in time where I may have truly suspected him as being the true killer, but no, he's a pretty decent all-around man, caught up in a horrible case. I liked how he tried to swim through the stars, which looked incredibly lame, but it was endearing. Cool astronaut man. Yeah, pretty alright, pretty good. Then there's the commander of the Space Center. I forget his name, unfortunately. But I loved his stupid segue. I loved how he'd lose control of it and spin around rapidly. I loved his pompousness and his intense dedication to role-playing his role as a spaceship commander. He's just a fun character all around. Sure, why not? Pretty good. Ara Blackquill, Simon's elder sister. Personality-wise, I mean, yeah, I guess she's there. But the thing I like most about her is her relationship with Simon. Ara took hostages. She took hostages, such extreme measures, to try and get the case swung in her way. To save her brother, I think. Yeah, Simon was due for the chopping block like the next day, so Ara went off the deep end and made demands. Quite frightening, but respectable, I guess, in a twisted way. But overall, she was kind of just there, so neutral feelings, I suppose. Now we have the DLC case. Was this Orla? No, the Orca was Orla. Sasha Buckler, that's right, her name's Sasha Buckler. What a fun character, dressed like a pirate, acted like a pirate. Yar me hearties. She sung songs, great entertainer. And, okay, her constant talking about trusting in Orla and fighting for her got quite a bit repetitious, but all the same, I can't muster any dislike for this character. She was fun. Pretty good. Pretty good. Okay, Orca. Right next to the parrot. So I like the Orca more than the parrot, yes. And that's where Orla the Orca will sit. We cross-examined the Orca. That's peak fiction, alright? I won't hear otherwise. Marlon Rhymes. Instant, top-notch, don't even have to think about it. I love his initial design where he kind of looks like a scrawny deckhand swabby, but he also has this vapid look and pronounced lips that makes him look like a fish out of water. A great design. And then he transforms into this hulking, dreadlocks-wearing pirate man, and it's just... And he raps? It's cool. Rhymes. He rhymes. It's cool. Rap. Oh man, it's just... What a great character. Just wonderful. And his misguided seeking of revenge against the Orca for his mistaken belief that the Orca had killed his sweetheart was... It was touching, you know? I felt for him. I did. It was just a great character all around. Now, Dr. Crab. I can respect a character who is just so tired and done with this bullshit. And Ace Attorney as a franchise has so much bullshit. Dr. Crab was crabby. I enjoyed him, and I loved how he gave the penguins stupid little names, like Rifle. And he little penguin living in his hair, in a cute mask. Yeah, he's a good character. And then we have... Oh, what's her name? What is her name? She was the author who was here to get inspiration for a book. She wanted to write a tell-all about the aquarium. liked her. I think I found her surprisingly savvy. And once she was proven wrong, I think she came around really quick and became helpful, genuinely. She could have been way more annoying than she was. So pretty good. Pretty good. I wish I remembered her name. Well, well. We're getting down there, aren't we? Looks like these are in the wrong order, so yeah, I'll go for both great Ace Attorney Chronicles games, then finish off the Spirit of Justice. So, my god. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, protagonist of the great Ace Attorney Chronicles and ancestor to Phoenix Wright. He's going right near the top immediately. Do I like Ryunosuke more than Phoenix? Of course I do. Ryunosuke is better than Phoenix in every way. While he does have that same earnest everyman who's learning hard lessons along the way and just trying his best and learning to seek the truth, he has an emotional depth brought about by the great Ace Attorney's higher writing level that just sends him to the next level. Ryunosuke is a top-notch character. Do I like him more than Athena? Yeah. Do I like him more than Apollo? Do I like him more than Miles Goddamn Edgeworth? Yes, I do. Ryunosuke, I think, might be a strong contender for my number one favorite Ace Attorney character. I loved every second spent with that character. It is just... I loved him, I do. I can't overstate how much I liked him. I loved the journey he went on, the way he interacted with other characters, the friendships he formed, the lessons he learned, just a spectacular protagonist all around. Yes, absolutely. And, speaking of Susato, I think her theme music just appeared. Huh. So, Susato is the best assistant in the game, in the series even. She's not a weird little girl, she's just a competent little girl. I like her subdued, refined personality. She was kind, compassionate, and more than anything, intelligent. She was this counterpoint to bounce off Naruhodo a lot, and the two were indispensable to each other. And I keenly felt her absence when she was back in Japan, away from England. So, yes, I think the relationship between Susato and Ryunosuke was one of the strongest parts of the great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Where do I rank her? Higher than Von Karma? Yeah. Higher than Simon Blackquill. Ooh. Yes, higher than Eustace Winner. Yes. Higher than Phoenix Wright. Yeah. Yeah, I think the emotional depth of her character makes her shine brighter than Phoenix. Do I like her more than Athena? They are two similar characters in some regards. I think I might have to put her there. Right between Apollo and Athena. That feels just right. Kazuma Asogi. Ryunosuke's best friend. In a lot of ways, he mirrors Mia. Kind of a mentor, passed on the mantle, died tragically. Except he didn't. One full game later, Kazuma came back from the dead, amnesiac, masked, working for Ryunosuke's opponent in the courtroom. And he was thirsting for revenge. He was at a dark precipice, nearly ready to kill over an ancient grudge. Look, Kazuma had an enrapturing screen presence. Every moment he was on screen I was rapt. I loved his dialogue, I loved his mannerisms, I loved his cool factor. He had a cool sword. His soul was his sword, man. His soul was his god's damn sword. So, where do I rank him? High. Do I like him more than... well... do I like him more than Manfred von Karma? Yes. Do I like him more than Simon? Oh, these characters are so similar. Ooh, boy. You know what? I think that's a perfect spot. In between Simon and Von Karma. Sure. Makes sense to me. Oh my god. It's him. The great detective himself, Sherlock Holmes. AKA Herlock Sholmes. What can be said about this man? I think more than anything, I walked away from him afraid. He was introduced as a bumbling, maybe a fraudster even. It seemed like his investigations were all a sham, and he had a history of finding the wrong suspect, and I was primed to dislike him a bit, but... No, that's not it at all. For the entire duration of the game, he was like a cat playing with the plot threads like a ball of yarn. Herlock Sholmes is a terrifyingly intelligent individual. The entire time we've known him, he was just messing around and having fun. He was playing a character. And in the final moments of the final Great Ace Attorney game, it was revealed how terrifyingly intelligent and smart this man truly is. And, well, we barely even got to get a glimpse of the true Herlock Sholmes. But from what we did see of him, this bumbling persona, hilarious, funny, memorable. He's a great character, amazingly well written. So, do I like him more than Bobby Fulbright? Yes, I do. I think Herlock Sholmes is a better complete package than Bobby Fulbright, the spy. Do I like him more than the judges? Yes. Do I like him more than Eddie Fender? Yes. Do I like him more than Von Karma? Yeah, I probably have to. Do I like him more than Kazuma Asogi? Honestly, just for how long I got to know Herlock Sholmes, or to how long I got to know that I didn't know him, yes. More than Simon? More than Simon. I think I don't. I think I like Simon more. I think I like Simon more than Herlock. And that feels just right. Then there's his assistant, Little Miss Watson. What was her first name? Flora Watson? Iris Watson? No, Wilson. Wilson. It was Wilson. Tabitha Wilson? No. Iris Wilson? What was her name? I forget. Well, anyway, so when it comes to anime characters, cartoon characters even, I'm not a fan of the bright-eyed, chirpy little girl who's so energetic and full of life. And I very much did not enjoy voicing such a character over the course of 2 games. She is all right at most. That's the most I can give her, unfortunately. I also found the plot thread where she was all sad and mopey and didn't know what was going on pretty tiring, so... yeah, I'm just not a fan of Little Miss Wilson. Though I did like how tragic it was that Ryunosuke and Susato both knew the fate of her dead father right from the get-go and were kind of going ugh about it for the entire game series. That was amusing. It was. Barack Van Zieks, aka Racist Dracula. As a prosecutor, he was exceptional. He played his part to a T. He was flinging wine bottles, swirling wine glasses, stomping his foot on the desk, and being a racist piece of shit. I love him. He's good. And the ultimate resolution of his plot involving his dead family member and the, I believe even the fact that Kazuma wanted to kill him was such great drama. He was a strong character, left a strong impression, but do I think he's one of my top favorites? Barely, but he's at the bottom. Bottom, right above the honorable mentions, right below Tyrell Bad. Yeah. Next up, Judge Jigoku. Now, he may be a judge, a male judge at that, but he... Hello? Oh, for the love of... That's better. Ah, Mr. Mikotoba. What is his... No, we left off on Jigoku, that's right. So Judge Jigoku may be a judge, but I need to rank him differently from the other judges because he became his own character. He was intrinsically tied to some deep history that was uncovered over the course of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. He became his own character, really. He was cross-examined, He was transformed in my eyes from more than a judge to an actual character. I remember being impressed by him, but not in a truly memorable way. He's all right in my eyes. And then there's actual Senior Mikotoba. As Susato's father, I liked him. I was endeared to him, but the reveal that he was Herlock Sholmes' old partner back in the day, the actual Watson, not Wilson, but the equivalent to, John Watson, his partner, and how he took part in that final investigation scene where Herlock actually revealed his true intelligence. Pretty splendid. The reveal was surprising, very engaging. I think he was a strongly written character, and I love the concern he showed for his kid. Yeah, strong character all around. Then, well, we have another Pain. Same tier as the other Pains. He's the same character all around. Then you have, what's your name? Inspector Hosonaga, I think. I remember disliking this guy and thinking he was a buffoon, but then he proved his tenacity and willingness to self-sacrifice in the name of what was right. He underwent such great self-sacrifice to do the right thing. And I loved him for it, but then he kind of just disappeared from the rest of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, which is understandable. He's a Japanese inspector, and our protagonists were going to England, so there's not much that could have been done, but when he did have screen time, I liked him quite a lot. So I think he's top-notch. Very good, surprising character. Now we have Yasanosa and his son, I guess? Ionosa, that's right. I liked his military army shtick. I liked how he was feuding with another defendant, or juror, or whatever, over the missing coin. But, he's just kinda there. Neutral feelings. This old man was he the thief of the Koban coin, or was he the seller? Or the buyer? One of those. I just remember he hid a coin in a stake. So I'm gonna go with who? Giselle Brett. Yeah, she got away with murder, didn't she? Until she didn't. Well, in the first game, Ryunosuke started off by sending her to prison, but I think she was about to be acquitted of all charges because she was a British lady in Japan, and the government didn't want to create an international incident, so they just let her go. However, a vigilante later killed her. I think it was an inspired choice to never let us see her eyes. It kind of gave this impersonal relationship with her, but all the same, it was so satisfying to take her down, and so aggravating to see her getting off the hook for literal murder over political fears. She was a great character, and I loved how in her freak-out animation, the swan on her hat came alive and started flapping its wings and dragging her all around the courtroom. So that's pretty strong. Pretty good character. Pretty good. Less so for personality, but more for the plotline around her. This is the ice skater, right? Fleeing from Russia. Ilya, maybe? No, I think that's Fate Stay Night. Oh wait, maybe they do share the same name. I don't know. Whatever her name was, I think she had a pet cat and was trying to get his attention by dangling a cat toy through an air vent on the cruise ship, and that started the whole mess with the speckled band, but I don't remember her much. Who? Well, here you have Beef Stroganoff. Top tier name. Loved his strongman personality. His real man of few words. Yeah, good character. I liked voicing him a lot, so that saves him from neutral feelings. He's pretty good. Okay. Villain in disguise. I believe he's a wanted criminal on the run from Russia, but he's not important in any way to the plot. He's just a background detail. He's just a wanted war criminal fled from Russia, and he winds up as a juror. And the player knows this. No one else realizes it, and the hilarity of his situation is so amusing. Well, it's just so out there and weird and so inconsequential, but I liked it. Pretty good. Male Strongheart, the ultimate big bad of the great Ace Attorney Chronicles. So, right, the moment I stepped into his boss room, I clocked him as the big bad. Pun intended, because it was in a clock tower. Honestly, the most I remember from him is the way he was ultimately taken down. He attempted to sway the entire courtroom once the truth came out, and painted his deeds as a matter of national security. But Herlock Sholmes had a wiretap in it, and was with the Queen of England, and the Queen herself handed down the hammer of law upon this poor man. But other than that, yeah, he's got that ugly baby poop green suit. It's pretty good. I don't really care too much about him, though, at the end of the day. No, my love for the finale of the Great Ace Attorney story is the drama between the Asogis and the Van Zeeks. Oh, judge alert. Same judge. Right there with the others. Magnus McGilded. So, you immediately know he's a scumbag because he's ultra rich, but the fact that he's a defendant who, in a shock twist, is actually the guilty party, the true murderer, is stunning. And the fact that this revelation paints Ryunosuke and Susato so much in the future, and how much his deeds affect the future. What with the escapades of Egg Benedict in the future? Yeah, Magnus is a tour de force character. He... quite a lot of the Great Ace Attorney is built on his bones. He's a killer. We defend him. We prove him innocent, even though he's truly the killer after all. And then he gets killed himself. Stunning character. Very good, very memorable, top notch. You're the cab driver, aren't you? And you two are the passengers. I think I like them. Bippo! That's your name, Bippo! Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember having so much fun voicing Bippo and Mustache Man, but I couldn't tell you a single thing about them other than Bippo, who was kind of down on his luck, poor, scraggly, looking for a quick buck. Let's give Bippo and Mustache Man neutral feelings, and the other passenger, who? Gina Lestrade, a character with so much screen time. She herself went on a very powerful and exhaustive arc. Now, she had a lot of screen time, but I think I can only muster a top notch and not the aces. No. Gina was fun. I enjoyed her. She's a scrappy, streetwise tomboy thief. I like that archetype. I do like that archetype in fiction. But I feel like there's a bit too much Gina Lestrade for its own good. I could have done with less screen time for her. Then again, later on, she got an adorable puppy. Alright, yeah, she deserves top notch, fine. Just for the puppy. Oh, Fish and Chips Man. What's her name? Well, I liked how callous the guy was towards Herlock Sholmes' shenanigans. This man was tired. He was tired. He was exhausted. He's just there to do his job. And I think it came out. He had some bad business on the side. It was shocking. Genuinely shocking when he died, actually. Yeah, I quite like Fish and Chips Man. I enjoyed him a lot. He was one of my favorite characters, though I could not tell you his name to save my life, unfortunately. Sosuke Natsume! Top aces. Aces. He's in aces. So, real historical figure, painted through the Ace Attorney lens. I love this man. He is suffering. This character is suffering. Being Sosuke Natsume is suffering. He hates every second alive. He just wants to write a book. He likes his kitty. He's a social recluse. I love him. And I love how much he freaks out about being named a killer, and we defend him. And he goes back to Japan, where he gets no rest either, because he gets involved in another murder case. Sosuke Natsume is such a lovable character. You pity him in all the best ways, so I like him more than Van Zeeks. I like him more than Tyrell Bad. More than Godot. More than Wendy. Oh, do I like him more than Emir Punchinpog? Oh! No, I can't say that I do, unfortunately. You know a character is great when you just look at them and you start laughing. Oh yeah! Moon Man. The landlord for Sosuke. Boy, we spent a lot of time with him, didn't we? Yeah, I don't like domestic abuse, even when it's played for laughs. I think he was the victim to it. I think I liked voicing him though, but I can't tell you anything about him. I'm gonna go barely neutral feelings for him, and who for the wife, I think. Now we got sleepy guardsman who is bound at the neck to his wife. They share the same scarf. I love this guy keeps falling asleep. He is barely cognizant of what's going on. He can't stay awake to save his life. And his wife is, of course, chipper and is manhandling him like a puppet. It was a very funny dynamic. I liked it a lot. Maybe there was a bit too much of them, or maybe the scenes with them dragged a bit, but I liked them pretty much. So, pretty good. Pretty good. Both of them. Pretty good. Alright. Oh boy. This man. I forget his name, but he was the pawn shop owner, and his shtick was to... If any of his customers felt sad or unpleased in any way, or just flat out did not indicate that they were having a good shopping experience, he would take out his revolver and threaten suicide out of shame. In the entire Ace Attorney franchise, I had never been more speechless or aghast or just rendered shocked at what I was witnessing. Tasteless? Yes. Funny? In hindsight, a bit. But, yeah. He ended up being the murder victim. Not much else to say, really. Pretty good. Pretty good, I guess. Man. Right, I guess rounding out the last of it is Eggs Benedict, though that's his fake name. I know him best as Toothpaste Man, because his suit looks like how toothpaste tastes, so, he had a real name. I forget it. I remember he was snooty and arrogant, and he was trying to get after a relic left behind in Magnus McGilded's coat, and was using the pawn shop, and there was a spat with Lestrade, and there was a lot, and he paid off these two goons, and I mean, I think I enjoyed him. I don't remember him well, but pretty good, let's say. And then there's the subpar Curio brothers. I forget their names, but, these two had, like, one brain cell, and they had to share it, but neither of them ever had it in the first place. They were funny. They were. I remember the short one had to stand on a box to testify, I think. And the way they were rubbing off each other in the testifying. Yeah, they were enjoyable. Couldn't tell you their names, but pretty good overall. Now, skipping past Spirit of Justice for a moment. This is Remember Me, Susato's old friend. Who? I'm sorry, Remember Me, but I don't remember you. I mean, it was cool that you were crushing on Susato when she was dressing as a boy, but I don't remember a single goddamn thing. And then there's Wright Many Memo, the journalist who ended up killing Giselle Brett in outrage for the injustice at her being able to go scot-free from her murder. I don't remember anything else. Who? I'm sorry, I don't. I just don't. Following that, we have Miss Green. She was the victim in one case and then brought back in the next Great Ace Attorney game. as a full-fledged defendant. Or witness, rather. Yeah, I love that plotline about the whole rental house and all the shenanigans around it. I thought it was pretty strong, very cohesive, and Miss Green was a pitiable character. She was so kind and gentle, but so many bad things had happened to her. The knife got stuck in her back, man. You know, I think I remember a scene where we walked in on her holding a bottle of pills and she quickly hid it, and I interpreted that to mean she was contemplating ending her life, and it felt so tragic. I think I remember her having a happy ending, though. So that's nice, I think. Hopefully. But frankly, probably have to put her in neutral feelings. I don't remember her too well. More than enough to put her in who, but not enough to put her in pretty good. The foppiest fop, the dandiest dandy. What was his name? Shakespeare? I think he was literally just called Shakespeare. I loved him. I loved him, top notch. He was theatric, and I adored voicing him, and he was funny, and he just had so many character traits that were so easy to mock. I deeply enjoyed that character, I think. Yeah. Oh, and you have the queen bee and the worker bee. These are both, jurists. They had a bee aesthetic. The worker bee was a handyman. Who? I could not tell you. This man, he was the defendant in the case where Mr. Stinky died in a laser explosion. That's right. I liked how he asked us to place faith in science. As a man of science and rationality, he spoke my language. And Ryunosuke's, his pursuit of the truth was admirable. And the circumstances of the murder he was involved with were pretty interesting. The science fair, world ride, all eyes on it, and a laser explosion. But honestly, probably just neutral feelings. Okay, now this one's interesting. This lady, who I forget the name was the proprietress of the Wax Museum. I love her design. Love the witch hat with the pentagram on it. But she's kind of a nothing character. She is barely seen, barely developed. I'm not even sure if she shows up in court at all. That's how little I remember her. I just remember thinking, boy, I wish there was more to this character. So, neutral feelings. Ah, the man from the fair. Hot air balloon man. I could not tell you more than that. Who? Okay, I know you. You're Little Gots, aren't you? You had an obscenely long name, and you were from a very rich family, and he kept interjecting with the most absurd, offhanded remarks. I think he was speaking extremely casually about... Oh, what was it about? But I remember laughing at this character a whole bunch, and I loved giving him a stupid, squeaky little voice, which flew in stark contrast to the dark and grim things he was saying. Yeah, he's pretty good. I liked him. Now you, the Clockwork Man. It's kind of funny to see Pierce Nickety right next to him, because they're kind of the same thing. They got eyewear, they got steampunk clockwork theme, though this man pulled it off way better. While I forget his name, I loved his animations, I loved his personality, I loved his laboratory, I loved the case involving him. Pretty good. Ah, you're the doctor, the coroner, I think. Reaper? Was your name Reaper, I think? I think it might be something Reaper. Yeah, I gotta admit, you and your daughter? I gotta give a big ol' who. I just do not remember you. They were there? The daughter was especially creepy in a childlike way? But I can't say too much more. I just don't remember them. Speaking of, I think you're the wife of the missing man? Or were you a juror? Anyway, that is a strong who? Anywho, this man, he was the missing prison guard who never showed up to his job. Turns out he was wearing a face disguise and was doing stuff in the streets. Selling faulty wares, snake oil salesman, I think. Or maybe he was after news scoops, I don't know. At any rate, his prosthetics that he was wearing were deeply disturbing and I hated looking at them. So, I guess his true identity and his actual normal appearance and personality saves him from go away forever. But he will go in unpleasant. And oh, right! You are the not Espella. Yeah, you're just like the matchstick sales lady. You sold matchsticks, I think. Or illegal fireworks? You were a witness, I think. But I gotta give you a who? Because I don't remember much more than that. Alright, these two redheads, they're kind of like the subpar Curio brothers, but better. They had better appearance, better animations. I loved their banter. They had such strong personalities. They stole the show in that case they were in. I like them a lot, so pretty good. And finally we have the jailer. I forget your name, but you had a very imposing aura. You had a bit of sincerity to you. You were closed off a bit at first, but once we got the truth from you... Yeah, I remember him being a bit sympathetic, I think. Overall... Yeah, he's fine. He's fine. Neutral feelings, I suppose. And that, at long last, leaves us one single game remaining. The one I just got done playing. Spirit of Justice. And we're starting off strong. Nayuta Sadmadi. I hated him. I hated him so much. I did not like him. He was unlikable. Painfully so. And then I loved him. I understood the truth behind his actions. I understood the pain in his heart. I understood the blackmail he was facing. And I loved how he pulled through and became the man he was always meant to be. A dragon never yields. Also, he's Apollo's brother, so that's neat. I gotta put him in top notch. He has a strong personality. But I think the insults were a bit too much and heavy-handed. If he was a bit more likable throughout the adventure, he might have landed in aces. But alas. Then there's Wraitha Padma Kuri'in. Frankly speaking, it's pretty much the same exact story as Nayuta. She was insufferable, snippy, rude. Quite frankly, she was murderous. Bloodlusted, even. But then she came around. She learned hard lessons. Made the right decision, painful as it may be. It's kind of the same story. I really gotta put her right next to Nayuta. They're part and parcel. Also, they're siblings, so there's that. I'll be your guide? As far as defendants go, he's a particularly memorable one. And I don't say that just because I just finished this game. He stuck around and was helpful for future cases, but his relevance just evaporated. After that first case, it was pretty much down to Shadow, his adorable puppy. and Shadow's actions that helped solve the final case. So that was instrumental of him, but overall, he's okay. He's fine. Judge alert. Same with the others. Right there at the top. Perfect. Oh, Nana, the ninja nanny. Well, not really. Turns out the entire time, right in front of our faces, she was Queen Amara the entire time. Hiding her death, hiding the fact that she was alive, and... boy, the plot involving her is so tragic. And I loved her designs, both as Nana and as the revealed Queen Amara. Even if she was posing very, very pretentiously, she was rocking that look, man. This is good stuff. Strong character. Though, I do have one grievance. I don't like that she was kind of just literally shot and then taken out of the story. I wish she was around for more of that finale. She didn't really have a speaking role again after she got shot, even though it was said she survived. I just wish she could have gotten more in her head and learned what she thought about her misconception of her husband, Dirk. And then there's Inga Karkul. Could this name be any longer or more pretentious than it already is, Kuriin? What a hateable scumbag. He is the worst. I wanted to punch him in the face, but I guess I'll settle for him dying. He's top-notch. The fact that he presented such an incredible, intense threat and dislikability made his assassination all the more shocking. I have very fond memories of that final case, and yeah, I think he played his part perfectly. Strong design, strong characterization, great character all around. And then there's Dirk Sadmati. Boy, when I first met this guy, I was empathizing with Apollo so strongly. I felt as he felt. I felt weirded out, a bit scared, a bit disgusted, and then alongside Apollo, I perfectly warmed up to him. Right, like lockstep with Apollo. I felt as Apollo felt. And Dirk's sheer stage presence, his personality, his aspirations. He's such an intensely likable man, and then he was pulled from us in such a devious way. I like him a lot. Do I like him more than Manfred von Karma? Yeah. Do I like him more than Kazuma? Yeah. Do I like him more than Herlock Sholmes? That's a tough one. You know, I might have to, just because I vibe with a more stern, stoic seriousness than the frantic prankster, trickster personality of Herlock. So, right behind Simon feels just right for Dirk. That leaves Dats Arable, Dirk's right-hand man. Interesting character. Yeah, he had me on edge for quite a bit. I didn't know what to make of him. The way he was threatening Phoenix with a knife at first, but his penchant for pranksterism it's nice. I love how energetic and emotional he is. I love his stupid laugh and his stupid facial expressions. He's a good character. I liked him. Pretty good. Queen Goran Kuriin. That witch. Another intensely hateable villain, truly perfect for her husband, Inga. The sheer gall she had to claim that she was the law, and how she would frequently rewrite the law right in front of you just to make your life worse. Unbelievable. Not too fond of her final design after she transformed, but as far as villains go, top-notch. Peace-lovin' understandin'. As far as first-case villains go, very strong, very strong. Top-tier design, top-tier gimmick. The way he was a musician playing acoustic, and then when his true form was revealed, he let down his hair, his headband was revealed to be an aux cord, which he plugged into big speakers, and he became a death metalist, and oh my god, it's inspired. One of the most inspired Ace Attorney characters ever. Top notch, truly, no question. Then there's Betty and Bonnie. I like their connection with Trucy. I like how Betty had a grudge against Trucy, even if it was misguided a bit. And I love the deception that really fooled me. I was guessing up to the last moment until the reveal that they were twins, and there were two of them all along. It's just good. They were good characters. So, pretty good. That leaves Roger Rettins. Man, now that I look at them all in a row like this, Spirit of Justice had such great villains. I think I hated him more than any other Ace Attorney character. Maybe. But it was the kind of hate you're meant to feel, which makes him top-notch. And yeah, the tie back into the Gramarye troupe was very, very welcomed. I like the Gramaries, I like Trucy, I like that plot. Now you have the head monk to rust in me. Tragic man. He was a beloved religious figure. Everyone knew him in Curaine. He was the head priest, and yet, because of the strict laws brought about by Queen Garan, he was forced to kill himself and frame someone else just to protect his wife. I think. It was tragic, and the way his death, the truth of his death, came out to the public and sparked Dirk's revolution into high gear. Very strong. And of course, we met him in person when Maya Fey channeled him, and it was a interesting visual experience. Top notch. Strong character. And then there's his wife, Believe in Me. Alright, so the way this tragic, grieving widow held up a portrait of her dead husband and started pantomiming and puppeting it and making voices and speaking for her husband was so deliciously dark. And then it turns out she actually is a rebel, and she put on face paint, and, well, then she kind of disappeared. Like, she popped up now and again, but for as strong a character as she was, I feel like she fell short of her potential. If she had came back later and had a stronger role in the end, that would have been splendid, but for now, I'm forced to just put her at pretty good. Noodle Man. Not to be confused with Guy Eldoon. Wow, what was his name? Okay, so he was drunk and sleepy and incoherent, and he had roller skates and he made soba noodles? Look, I just completed this game and I'm already putting him in who? Then there's Geiru Tornado, the clown. The sexy clown. Why, God? Why? So I think that the reason why she killed her own mentor was idiotic and selfish and stupid. And I hate her for that. But I gotta admit, they went in on her animations, her balloon animals, her mannerisms, and the ultimate reveal that, well, yeah, when all her makeup was taken off, her wig, her fake nose, and she was just transformed into this sad, crying little girl. It's a memorable image, so pretty good. And then there's what's his face, Tornado? Look, this character is 4 dudes. Well, 3 dudes and a lady. He has a split personality disorder, and he bounced between them seamlessly. And that was very challenging, yet also very fun to voice act for. And it made this character very relatable. Not only that, but the way that their split personality was depicted was through rakugo artistry, which is the act of playing different characters on a stage at once. Oh, for the love of... We're near the finish line. Can you... Music? Please. As I was saying, Uendo Tornado. Yes, the way his rakugo art was married with his split personality, truly incredible. That is some inspired writing. I like this guy a lot. Everything about him, them I should say, awesome. So I want to put him in the aces. Do I like him more than Barak van Zieks? Honestly, I don't think I can say that. Yeah, I think we got a new bottom of the aces, but that's still a pretty good spot to be. Oh my god, Paul Addison, the politician. This man was hilarious. He was vain and snobby and detestable and funny. It was just so funny the way he would be carted around at ungodly hours of the night on his palanquin, and he'd be shouting through the quiet mountain village on his megaphone. And his self-assurance riding on the coattails of his forefathers, and that goddamn animation where he just walks up to the stand. So funny. Wonderful character. Well realized. Top notch. Then there's Army Buff. Sweet, kind little girl with a other personality through the radio. Her story was touching. How her mother died to save her from a fire, leaving her very scared, and it was quite aspirational to see her take a step out of that wheelchair and embrace a more self-fulfilling life. And the fact that her drone was firing rockets and miniguns in court is also pretty hilarious, so pretty good. Well, looking at the others that she's with, no, I don't think I can do that. She's top-notch. Why not? Wow, and we're down to the final DLC case. We just completed this now, didn't we? So, Ellen Wyatt, a damn funny character. Very sympathetic, you feel for her, but her animations are just so over the top. The way she would cry rivers, the way she'd flip out, the way she'd just get back into character with her new makeup and her hair, and oh my god, just a good character. I love her devotion to her spouse. Good character. Top notch, I would say. Her design's great, personality's great, her animation's stellar. Good all around. Then there's Soren Sprocket, very tragic character. He's an understated and under-animated character, but I suppose that makes his jetpack scenes all the more funny. Yeah, I liked him. He's nice. I wish the best for him, and I was very satisfied to learn the truth behind the mystery revolving around him. So, I definitely liked him a lot less than Ellen, but he's still pretty good. I can't say a bad thing about him. Then there's Pierce Nickety. Of course, the butler did it. Who else could it be? But the story of how he was the surgeon at that last critical moment and failed to save the life of his own fiancée, Soren's elder sister, absolutely tragic, and it might have the saddest freak-out animation in Ace Attorney. Maybe the heartbeat would fall to zero, man. It was... Yeah, like, obviously he's a murdering scumbag and tried to put someone else to killing Ellen, but I don't condone what he did, but I understand it, man. That said, he feels all around like a worse mecha man from the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, so I can't rate him too highly. He'll go in pretty good, I guess, narrowly saved from neutral feelings by that last hour spent with him in court. Well, look at that. This video ended up being much, much longer than I thought it would be, but we've did it. We've done it. I have ranked each and every Ace Attorney character. Now, I hope you understand, dear viewer, that this is strictly my personal opinion. Strictly my own personal opinion. This is no way reflective of how I think the actual objective quality of writing and characterization is in this series. No, sir, this is just my feelings. Feelings based off playing games 6 years ago and then forgetting most of the cast. Yeah. Definitely way more characters ended up in the Who section than I would have thought. But overall, looking at this, yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. So to recount, I guess that leaves Ryunosuke as my #1 favorite Ace Attorney character. And the more I think about it, that feels right. I've got Miles, Paulo, Susato, Athena, Phoenix, and all the rest. And a few honorable mentions. The animals get here on honor, really. Well, here we are. There's truly nothing left. From here, now, the one thing I have left to do is wait. Ace Attorney fans, I join you now in the wait for the next Ace Attorney. Hopefully, it will not be a long one. How about that? What a surreal feeling. Well, as I said in my bonus video, next up, I'll be let's playing through the Hildebrand Adventures, a side quest in Final Fantasy XIV. Probably should be very enjoyable to Ace Attorney fans. Hope you check it out, at least the first video, see if you like it. And of course in the future, I want to let's play Ghost Trick Phantom Detective, another game from Shu Takumi, the series creator. And, the series creator of Ace Attorney, I mean. And also I want to touch the Professor Layton series. I have all those games ready to go right now. Though I don't know how I'll be able to record the New World of Steam, which is coming out on Switch soon. I have no way to record a Switch at this moment, so if I do Let's Play Layton, I'll have to solve that problem one day. Uh-oh. Yeah. Keep an eye on my Bluesky. Link in the description. I'll post thoughts on Ace Attorney now and then, especially if there's a new reveal for a new game. Yeah, previously in my bonus video, I named Ace Attorney as a franchise my 3rd favorite video game franchise of all time, beaten only by Dragon Quest and Dark Souls, Eldenborn, Sekiro, Blood. Ace Attorney, near and dear to my heart, special in so many ways. I love it with all my heart, warts and all. And I say now, goodbye. Goodbye, Ace Attorney. It was nice knowing ya. I'm Zephyr the Jester. This has been Ace Attorney. Thank you for watching. Hopefully I'll catch you next time. So until then, please take care.